Hey guys, in this video we have a ton of AI related news stories and focusing a lot on Agentic AI, which is the next phase after chatbots, and it has actually started to come to the market. We're going to start off with a wild story and also a bit of a morality tale about the RTX 5090 people were talking about in photographs in a video that appeared to come from a factory. Now this story started making the rounds over the weekend, and the story centers around this video where a guy in a factory is seen testing what was said to be the RTX 5090. Now this particular video is very grainy, and at no point does it actually say RTX 5090 anywhere on the card. There's nothing to indicate it's RTX 5090. But I saw a lot of stories where people were literally claiming that this was an RTX 5090. Some very large outlets were saying this, and it's a bit of a morality tale because this is not what is being reported as. Now we later found out that it is happening inside a Zotac factory, which is one of the large manufacturers of Nvidia graphics cards, but Zotac actually had to issue a statement. So what they said was notice of clarification. Inaccurate speculation on Zotac's product. Over the last 2 days, we have noticed inaccurate speculation circulating regarding a rumored new graphics card product allegedly being manufactured by Zotac. We wish to seize this opportunity to provide clarification that the product showcased in the associated video source is in fact an existing product. So it turns out it is an RTX 4070 Ti Super. But despite this, the video has a very interesting background or a very interesting backstory. The video has gone viral. The video that has gone viral pertains to an internal training recording of a trial production run at our facility in Indonesia, intended to test the performance of newly installed production equipment. Okay, so the backstory is very interesting. It turns out that earlier in the decade, Nvidia and its partners had actually been urging the US government to exempt graphics cards from Trump-era tariffs. These were tariffs that were introduced in 2018. Biden, when he came into power, decided to continue these tariffs, and these companies were really concerned about the impact of the tariffs. So they managed to get a temporary stay, and we've actually talked about this. The tariffs were deferred and then they were deferred again, and we spoke about this a couple of times, and currently the tariffs are not actually being implemented. They're being proposed to be implemented from the 31st of May 2025. But there was a huge impact on pricing. The companies eventually won a reprieve, and it turns out that Zotac was one of those companies that seems to have been able to move some of their supply chain from China into Indonesia, which seems to be the reason that factory was opening. Now, if the dates match up, that would mean that that factory probably took about 5 or 6 years to get up and running. And I think this is probably an indication of the kind of timescales these companies would need to move their manufacturing bases. Currently, Trump, of course, is proposing tariffs to move jobs back into the United States. And that's something he's talking about maybe doing over a couple of years. I've heard some of his allies talking about that. But for some of these high-tech industries, they may need quite a lot more time to build their factories and to make sure that they're running properly. Moving on to the main subject, which is autonomous agents. We have stories now saying that autonomous agents have begun to appear. And there was actually an event, the Microsoft AI Tour, which began in London. And one of the things we learned at this particular conference was that there are now AI agents operating in a number of companies. McKinsey and Company developed an agent to streamline client onboarding, reducing lead time by 90% and admin work by 50%. Thomson Reuters, the news agency, they got involved with agentic solutions for legal due diligence, cutting workflow tasks by 50%. These things are out in the wild. And this all happens at an event. We heard about this at an event in London, which was hosted by Microsoft. This is the Microsoft AI Tour. This is the London leg, and Microsoft revealed a huge amount of information about their agentic AI proposals. So let's come up with a brief definition. Microsoft says, and the agents are going to be part of the Copilot system. Copilot is your personal private assistant that works solely for you, enhancing your AI capabilities. And agents are expert systems that operate autonomously on behalf of a process or company. You can configure, secure, and test your agent, and then it automates for you and your team across apps and data sources. We expect every employee will have Copilot and will be supported by many agents. Now, McKinsey and Company said, we are excited about the power of Copilot agents in taking AI transformations to the next level. We've seen early success of our pilot agent that was built for our own organization in collaboration with Microsoft. And we see tremendous potential for agents to help our clients rewire the way their businesses operate. Microsoft then say autonomous agents are positioned to create AI-first business processes across various departments like IT, marketing, sales, customer success, and finance in industries, and a various bunch of industries they talk about there. The agents can automatically respond to signals across your business and initiate tasks. They can be configured to react to events or triggers without human input. They also reveal that new models like the OpenAI O1 series are available as part of this program. Now, one of the things I've got a query about this is that the OpenAI O1, the preview version, it is very good, but it's also kind of slow. And I do wonder whether they have the hardware to make it as responsive as users would want it to be. The other thing Microsoft point out is that they have got a bunch of features that are geared towards enterprise. So things like data encryption, data loss prevention measures, and strategies for creating and retiring these AIs. One of the companies, McKinsey, which has been working with Microsoft, actually claimed that at one point, a bank had managed to increase revenue per relationship manager by 20% using these AI agents. But Microsoft is not alone. They face competition from other companies, and a company called Salesforce apparently has been creating its own agentic AI tools. They have a whole part of their organization which is devoted to creating agentic AIs. It's not clear from the reporting whether the agentic AIs are going to be limited just to these huge companies, or they're going to be available on, 365, Office 365. Here on CNBC, it says the company is launching 10 new autonomous agents in Dynamics 365, its suite of enterprise resource planning and customer relationship management apps. So it sounds at the moment it's very much geared towards these companies that can make heavy use of these agents. And the agents seem to be just about ready to take off in a really, really big way. One company that's making pretty wild but believable claims is Nvidia, which is saying that it envisages a future where it will employ 50,000 people working alongside 100 million AI agents. I believe this was something that Jensen Huang said inside an interview he did in a very long podcast on YouTube. So these plans are grand, and these AI agents, they're not just being planned, they're actually coming into existence. And one of the big questions, of course, companies like McKinsey, they've been writing about how AI could destroy huge numbers of jobs. I'm not sure how they're going to try to sell these agentic AIs to the world. I mean, I suppose they could say, look, we've been warning you the jobs are going to go away. So now it's happening. At least you've had time to prepare. But it feels like the start of something really, really big in the AI space. Moving on to one of the more really interesting AI companies, Perplexity AI seeks valuation of about $9 billion in a new funding round. So this is early stage reporting. I believe it was the Wall Street Journal that first reported on this, but they're looking to raise $500 million, and their valuation, they hope to increase the valuation to $9 billion. Apparently in previous valuations, they were valued at $3 billion in June, and this is the fourth funding round that they're working on in 1 year. So the company seems to be really going places. Another big piece of news from Perplexity is that they launched what they call introducing internal knowledge search and spaces. This is an ability to upload your own documents into Perplexity, and then you can use those documents. You can actually search those documents alongside the internet. And they're proposing this as a service that maybe financial services could conduct more robust due diligence by tapping into their own internal research, call notes, and the latest industry news. So they can access that industry news over the internet, and they can also use their own internal notes. Now, I've been trying this. This is available on the Pro version of Perplexity, and I've been using it for about a day. It is really, really amazing what you can do with this feature. It allows you to upload documents, and then you can do searches, and it will draw data from multiple documents, give you the sources, and also indicate resources on the internet that you could use to help you in your research. And it's something which I think is a very strong feature. They're saying that it is the first company, they are the first company that have been able to introduce this kind of feature anywhere in the world. Now, we spoke about Intel earlier on, and I have some more information from Intel. This actually comes from their press release when they first launched the 285K, their new series of chips. And with this one here, you can see they have a comparison of the performance of the 285K with the 14900K, their previous flagship. And the difference in Geekbench AI performance is huge. You can see that the CPU has got very significant performance upgrades for AI tasks. We also have the iGPU, which is, they're saying that it's doubling the performance of the previous generation iGPU. And of course, we have the new NPU, which is completely new for this particular format. We also have information about UL Procion's AI computer vision performance. And here, once again, you can see very strong performance versus the 14900K. Another comparison we have in the AI space is against the 9950X. And here we can see comparisons for Audacity, Adobe Lightroom Classic, Topaz Video AI, Premiere Pro, and After Effects. The 285K against the 9950X can have up to a 50% performance improvement. And we can also see that the features that have been used are really, really specific. Scene edit detection, auto tag, things that are really specific. And we expect these companies to obviously cherry pick the best results sometimes. And these results seem to me to have been cherry picked to perfection. I think there are situations where the 9950X will really not only hold its own, but maybe even outperform. Not sure up to 50% extra, but we'll see. And some big news from Stability AI. Stability AI launched Stable Diffusion 3.5. This one is going to be available in a number of different models, and it's going to be available in a large model and also a large turbo model. Now, these are available for download immediately, and there'll be a Stable Diffusion 3.5 medium coming along fairly soon. Now, the images I've seen so far are pretty good, and there are quite a lot more on Twitter. We'll be probably coming up with a new video covering this, maybe even a couple of videos. And this all happens fairly soon after James Cameron, the film director, came onto the Stability board. So really exciting stuff. Let's hope this all turns out to be fantastic.